On Law Weekly today, we look at the recent judgment of the Supreme Court on the 26th of February, affirming the verdict of Justice Olubunmi Oyewole, who sentenced controversial clergyman Reverend King to death by hanging. This has once again rekindled the debate on the relevance of the death penalty in Nigeria's criminal justice system. We also have a recap of the top stories from the courts, plus a chat with Senior Advocate of Nigeria, A.B. Mahmood. We talk about the public scrutiny of the bar and the bench, the discipline of lawyers, and much more. It's a very interesting conversation, but we get to it shortly. Hello and welcome to the program. I am Shola Shoyeli. The Supreme Court verdict on controversial clergy Chukwuemeka Ezeogu, popularly called Reverend King, has once again shown up the debate on the relevance of the death penalty. Here's a report on the issue. The case against self-styled prophet Dr. Reverend King started on the 26th of September 2006 when he was arraigned on a 6-count charge before Justice Olubunmi Oyewole of the Lagos High Court. The 6-count charge was made up of 5 charges of attempted murder and 1 charge of murder. Reverend King pleaded not guilty. These are the faces of some of his members in court. You can tell some of them by their long beards, similar to that of their reverend. Some wear his picture, and yet others, like the late Anne, abandoned their last names and took the name King as a surname.
But you must believe in him, or you perish.
It's this same slavish devotion that has kept them hopeful that the court will eventually free their prophet, despite the death of one of their members. But what was the offense that led to this heinous crime? Justice Olubunmi Oyewole was told that some of the female members of the church were used by Reverend King as domestic servants. They performed various household functions, including cooking and sleeping with the reverend. The court was treated to sordid details of sex and threats when it wasn't willingly given. Details that came to light when Reverend King heard tales of supposed improper sexual relations among the victims. On the 22nd of July 2006 at about 8 p.m., the Reverend summoned all the alleged fornicators and proceeded to beat a confession out of them. Some of them testified that they confessed just to avoid the wrath of the GO, the General Overseer, the Very Reverend King. Enraged by their confession, he proceeded to assault them, hitting them with rods, before summoning another devotee to fetch and drench them with petrol, after which he lit a match. Reverend King joined 8 others to testify in his defense. And even though he denied committing the offense, the court felt he did not show any remorse in the witness box. His answers to the event of the night of the incident was described by the court as evasive, coy, and sly. Indeed, he was caught off guard and boxed into a corner a few moments, and evaded certain questions on the ground that he had a spiritual injunction to forget his past. He readily admitted to the court, though, that he flogs his church members regularly to correct them when they erred. In the end, Justice Olubunmi Oyewole rejected his account of the incident. The court held that he was filled with lies and fabrications to save his kin, when the enormity of his action and the attendant consequences dawned on him. Reverend King was convicted and sentenced to death. It's this judgment that was echoed by the Court of Appeal, and which has again been re-echoed by the Supreme Court. This also means that the coast is now clear for the execution of Reverend King, subject of course to the signing of the death warrant by the Lagos State Governor, Mr. Akinwumi Ambode, who is the only authority recognized by law to issue the warrant. Some people, however, think that this may not happen anytime soon. Indeed, since the military disengaged from Nigerian politics in 1999, only 2 governors have signed death warrants in the country. They are the former governor of Kano State, Ibrahim Shekarau, who signed the first warrant in 2006, and the governor of Edo State, Adams Oshiomhole, who signed the warrants of 4 death row inmates executed by hanging in Edo State in June 2013. Many Nigerians, however, still remain divided about the propriety of the death penalty. Law Weekly has a few of the prevailing thoughts on the issue.
Well, capital punishment does not stop a crime. As a matter of fact, it is a sadistic expression of vengeance. Therefore, capital punishment being the end, even when you are wrong, means I cannot support it. Because if somebody is wrongly convicted of an offense and is executed, and later on it turns out that the man was innocent, what will you do? In the United States, we have so many cases of so many black brothers of ours who 30 years later, a widow will come up and say, my husband lied. Meanwhile, the innocent black man has been killed, otherwise known as execution. If somebody confesses, it's a different thing. But on the whole, I'm against capital punishment because you cannot create life, therefore you have no right to take it.
There is a Yoruba that said, where there is no punishment, there is no sin. And an environment void of any measure for deterrence to the public will be an environment where anything goes. A lawless environment where people cannot think of the consequence of their action will be an environment where people will not be able to move, where property will not be able to be secured, where life where jungle justice can, be allowed. So my stake is there could be the measurement of death penalty can be restricted to some percentage of the gravity of the offense.
When you say death penalty, it's subject to so many abuse. Really, it shouldn't be extended. It shouldn't be extended further. If it's death penalty for existing offense that carries death penalty, but any new offense should be long prison sentence. We should move according to global trend, not really going back to the dark ages.